How's it going, everyone? I'm back with another video for you guys today. Today I'm going to be going over and discussing kind of some tips, some tricks, some things that you might need or might not know as a beginner hiker. So this video is going to be designated to my beginner hikers out there, or the people that are kind of just watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out what they might need, how to kind of plan for a hike, how to prepare for it. So if you're one of those people, this is for you. So stay tuned. I'm going to be going over some of the importance of hiking, kind of the benefits of it. I'm going to go over some preparation and kind of how to prepare for it before going out on your hike, some of the hiking gear that you might need when you're out there, as well as just some tips and tricks to stay safe while you're out there on the trail. So first off, going over the importance and the benefits of hiking. Personally, I feel there's so many benefits to hiking. You can make it social and go out there with friends or family and share time with them. You can go out there by yourself and enjoy your own alone time out there in nature. You can go out there on sunny days and soak up some vitamin D, and it's a good physical activity. It boosts your mental health, and overall, it's very beneficial, and these are just some of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. Next, I'm going to go over some of the preparation and kind of some of the aspects that are oftentimes overlooked when planning a hike. So I think it's very important to kind of, when you're first new to hiking, to go out there on the opportune days. So the days that the weather is the best. Once you get a little more advanced in your hiking, then you can go out there on days that might not be ideal. So this might include like some rainy days or some days where the weather might switch up on you, but oftentimes you're a little more prepared for that. But when you're first starting out, I think just going out on nice sunny days or on days where it's cool, just pretty much for whatever weather you enjoy, I think that's probably the most important. So planning ahead, looking at the weather forecast, making sure it's going to be a good day for you, I feel that that's very important, as well as planning your trail accordingly. So as a new hiker, or as someone who has never hiked before, you might not know how many miles you're able to accomplish, or I guess some of what terrain you feel comfortable with. So I think going into it and kind of trying to set up a plan before going out there, saying, oh, I know that I can do maybe 1 mile or 2 miles, and making sure that your hike doesn't have a ton of elevation gain and isn't going to be too difficult for you, so you can make sure it's enjoyable. I think that's very important as well. And then last off, for this preparation aspect, I think informing your friends and family of where you plan on going, how long you plan on being out there, the trail name, where it's at, as well as just some of the other aspects of it, like sending your location to your friends and family, or sending phone numbers for the local forest rangers or the state park where you're at, just so you can keep your friends and family in the loop, so they can track you, so they know where you're going, they know when you'll be back. And I think this is a very important safety aspect to hiking that oftentimes is overlooked. So I think this is what we should be doing. And then next, we're going to go over kind of some hiking gear that you might need as a beginner. So I know that you've probably watched a ton of videos saying you need this and you need that and you need this. But truthfully, I think when you're first starting out, I don't think you need a whole lot of gear. I think that it can be very overwhelming. And I remember, for myself at least, when I was first starting out, I didn't have a lot of gear. I went out there with, just the basics. So I think footwear is a very important thing. And you can oftentimes be told, oh, you need to buy these shoes. But I think when you're first starting out, just wearing any closed-toed shoes that has decent traction on there will do you just fine for most of the terrain. Sure, it's probably not going to be ideal, but it's not, you don't need all this fancy gear. And then eventually, later on, after you realize that you enjoy hiking, you can invest in a nice pair of trail runners or a nice pair of hiking boots, but that's not necessary to start out. And then next, I think your clothing choice is also important. I don't think you need to, buy the top of the line hiking gear to get out there and enjoy nature and get out there and be active. So I think just wearing any moisture wicking clothing, the stuff that's made out of like polyester or neoprene or spandex, this dry fit moisture wicking clothing is very important. You don't want to go out there with cotton. You can, but it's more likely to absorb a lot of sweat or a lot of rain if you're out there on rainy days, and it can make you cold and make the experience a lot less enjoyable. So I think just making sure you have moisture wicking clothing, as well as bringing extra layers or items that you feel that you might need for the weather. So I think planning to do that is very important. And then next off, I think bringing a backpack. So something small. This is a small backpack that I bring on a lot of my shorter day hikes. So, and this is, I throw my extra clothing in there, my jacket or whatever I plan on bringing with me, as extra layers for the day. So I think a small backpack like that, along with making sure to bring some snacks. So I typically bring with me a couple granola bars, and some other, whatever you enjoy eating, truthfully. But I always just make sure to bring more than I anticipate eating, just in case something does go awry and I'm out there for longer than I expect to be. I like to have more than I typically need. And then with snacks and with nutrition goes water and electrolytes. I feel that this is oftentimes very overlooked, and people don't typically bring water, or they don't bring enough. And then along with water, I think bringing electrolyte mix or some type of Mio squeeze or powder to put in your water to replenish your electrolytes, because you're going to be out there sweating, you're going to be working out. I think that's very important. So bring more than you think that you would need, and just throw that extra water bottle in your backpack for safekeeping. You might not need it, but it's better to have it than not. So that's kind of that. And then next, we are going to go over the sun protection aspect. So this is kind of goes with those outer layers, but just making sure that you have some form of sun protection. So before going out there on your hike, throw on some sunscreen. Protect yourself from the sun. You'll regret it if you don't. In the next couple days after your hike, you might be sunburnt and be like, man, I wish I would have thrown on some sunscreen. So it's a very easy thing to do, and I feel that oftentimes this is very overlooked, as well as bringing a brimmed hat. So it'll shade your face, shade your scalp, and just prevent that from getting sunburnt, as well as bringing some sunglasses. It'll just make the time out in the outdoors a lot more enjoyable, and I feel that this is a pretty beneficial aspect. And then next, our phones. So this is something that we're going to have on us most of the time when we're out there hiking. And if you have a smartphone or an iPhone or whatever, I'm sure there is some way to send your location to your friends and family, so that they can stay in the loop and track you as you're going on your hike. But also, I think making sure that your phone is fully charged before you go on your hike is very important. So charge up your phone when you're driving to the trailhead. Make sure it's fully charged before you're out there. The last thing you want is to be out there and realize that your phone's about to die. Because a lot of the times you might not be using your phone a whole lot, but you can use it to download GPS apps, and this is something that I encourage. Downloading trail apps to navigate when you're out there on the trail to keep you accountable and keep you on track, make sure you're not getting lost, as well as just, you're going to be using your phone to take pictures of the scenery or the landscape or whatever animals or wildlife that you see out there. So making sure that your phone is fully charged. And then along with this, kind of what I was saying about the navigation. So downloading apps beforehand. I know that a lot of people that are new to hiking are like, how do I even find trails to hike on around me? Like, I don't really know of any. Like, I know there's a state park, but I can't find any trails. And some apps that I typically use include Gaia GPS, All Trails, Trail Forks, Komoot, and Fat Maps. These are all very good hiking apps where you can download, you can research trails in your area or away from your area if you're traveling somewhere that you're not too familiar with. And you can download the route. You can press go in a lot of these apps, or press start on your hike, and it'll have your whole route kind of, I guess, downloaded for you, and it'll follow you along as you're walking on the trail, and it'll make sure that, and you can just periodically look at your phone or whatever if the trail gets a little difficult to navigate, and you can make sure you're staying on trail and keep you safe. So that's that. These are some apps that I definitely recommend. So you guys should just definitely go check them out and take a look at these. And then now I'm going to go into some tips, I guess, for hiking and for new hikers or people that are just kind of starting out and not sure and that are kind of nervous about the whole thing. But making sure, like I was saying, you're staying on the marked trails, and using these apps will help you make sure to stay on them. But this is a very important thing, and oftentimes people do wander off trails, but if you do have these apps downloaded, you can find yourself right back onto it. So that's very important. And then as well as making sure you're pacing yourself on your hikes. So you don't want to go out there and just storm off and be super enthusiastic and burn yourself out a quarter of the way into your hike. I think just taking it slow for your first time or first couple times out there and pacing yourself, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the time out there is very important, and it'll be very beneficial in the long run. And then along with pacing yourself, I think taking frequent breaks is very nice. When you are bringing some snacks out there, it's nice to kind of sit down on a stump or a log, enjoy the scenery, eat a snack, replenish your electrolytes, drink some water, just kind of take it all in and enjoy being out there. And then next, I think one of the most important aspects of hiking or being outdoors in general is leaving no trace. So make sure to pack out whatever you're packing in. This is why I typically bring a backpack with me. I'll throw in my trash, my wrappers from my snacks and everything in my backpack, or my empty water bottles, and make sure to throw them in your backpack and pack out whatever you're packing in. Throw them away once you get to the trailhead in a trash can. We want to keep our wildlife in our natural areas as natural as we can, and we want to keep them looking as beautiful as they are. So let's just all do that. And then to go back to the navigation portion, one thing that you can do is pick up a lot of trail maps. So pretty much wherever you're going to be hiking, you can find an information station or a ranger station or a visitor center that has trail maps of the area that you'll be hiking in. And you can kind of plan that accordingly. You can highlight your map, mark it out, and kind of point out some landmarks that you know you're going to be passing to, I guess, keep yourself safe and keep yourself accountable while on the trail. So yeah. So these are just some tips and tricks that I've utilized. I was once a beginner hiker and was watching a ton of videos on how to start hiking. So I'm hoping that this video will be very beneficial for you beginner hikers out there. If you find yourself a more experienced hiker or someone that already knew all of this stuff, I have a video for you. So last week I created a video called the 10 Essentials and what I carry on my for longer extensive day hikes. And this video will be linked at the end of this video. So feel free to go ahead and watch that. And if you enjoy these videos, like and subscribe, comment, ask me questions. I'll be answering whatever questions you guys have. So yeah, I appreciate all the support. Thank you.